Corteiz is the brand that's turning the streetwear game upside down right now, and yet, just a few years ago, it was a totally obscure brand. Just some guy screen printing his designs on blank canvases in his room, like now there are thousands all over the world. But quickly, in just 2 years, the brand took on a whole new dimension, and probably ranks in the top 3 of the most hype emerging streetwear projects of the moment. Said just like that, you might think that I'm exaggerating a little bit, but absolutely not. And if you don't agree, that's cool, but I think that this video might help change your mind. Corteiz is more than just a brand, it's a vision and a community with ambitious goals of conquering the world, and they are slowly but surely making that happen. Personally, it is a brand I never really paid attention to, and I just saw it pop out of nowhere 2 years ago without really finding any true information about the brand or the founder. But after doing some digging, I found a lot of information to trace back to the true story of Corteiz and his founder, also known as Clint 419. And I might just break the myth or the somewhat vague image that many fans of the brand do have. So if you've been wondering how Clint 419 managed to create the most poppin' indie streetwear brand of the moment to the point of collaborating with Nike, you are in the right place because you're about to learn all you need to know about Corteiz.
Good morning!
This is a new video, and we absolutely have to talk about one of the most interesting brands in streetwear right now. And when I say that, I'm not necessarily talking about just the design aspect, but rather the social phenomenon that it became. Whether you love it or hate it, you can't deny that the brand has been validated at the highest level of the industry, going from a big star on the urban scene to one of the most sought after designers in the world of streetwear like Virgil Abloh. How did we even get here? To better understand the excitement surrounding the brand, we do need to trace its history, but also that of its founder, who we really don't know that much about in the end. Clint was a young Londoner like many others, and like the founder of the Anti-Social Club and most young people of his generation, he was a child of the internet. His thing was mainly Twitter, where he shared a lot about his life. But before creating Corteiz, his life was not about hoodies and the attire of great robbers. And digging through some of his old tweets, we also learned that he studied at the Gunnersbury Catholic School, a school where they wore the same uniforms as in the game Bully. We also learned that before Corteiz, he had already launched a streetwear project that was abandoned over 5 years ago, but it was actually far from a flop. Cade on the Map was the name of his first project, which was founded by one of his friends, and the project was quite different from Corteiz, with a slightly more colorful and joyful atmosphere to it. However, there were already some elements like the logo in an oval shape and the Vice City font that Clint would keep for Corteiz's artistic direction. Cade on the Map was a brand that mainly communicated on Twitter, a social network that Clint seemed to be a pro at. He was even a bit of an influencer who ended up doing partnerships with Feli. Although the project was starting to gain some traction, Cade on the Map abruptly stopped in 2017, probably due to a disagreement between the two founders, since they no longer follow each other on social media and seem to have taken different paths. During all of this time, Clint did not give up on his studies, and we even found some posts on English forums where he asked for advice to help prepare for his higher education in psychology.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
In 2017, he finally launched Corteiz, which was mainly screen printed on blank basis from Russell Athletic. The brand name was inspired by a Spanish conquistador named Hernan Cortez, and the logo is simply a print of Alcatraz prison. All these little references still revolved around the same ideas of freedom and conquest, as he was a guy who had a success and financial freedom mindset from a young age. Unfortunately for him, and it's normal, the brand did not take off overnight, and at the beginning, he was more focused on Litecoin to drop out of school and live his best life, other than Corteiz, which was still in its early stages and showed no signs of such success. He was always just an ambitious kid who wanted to make it big in streetwear, but especially make money and change his life. Despite everything, Corteiz was a pretty committed project with a real underlying message, as it denounced the gentrification of streetwear, but not only that, also the neighborhoods of London, and there was a desire to do more than just a simple clothing brand. It was a community of insiders who gather online with private accounts on social media or websites with passwords. Yeah, we are talking almost like a cult-like thing. What allowed the brand to shine at the beginning was that London is a city where a lot of stuff happens. But also at the time of his first brand, Clint was a part of a collective of creators who often worked with artists from the London urban scene, and he probably kept in touch with artists or created networks that allowed him to plug his clothes here and there. But there was real enthusiasm around his product, products, and his Alcatraz print starstruck a lot of people. An effective logo that quickly established itself in the UK scene and sparked the interest of many people, also including stars who spontaneously gave the brand recognition without even asking for anything in return. You even had huge stars like David Guetta who came to ask for passwords in the DM to buy some Corteiz.
So, shout out to his family.
Obviously, the hype around the drill, series like Top Boy or rappers like Central C added a sick layer of hype to Corteiz. They quickly became associated with the world of mass thugs, but what really made an impact was their social media game. They pulled off some crazy events, like when hundreds of dudes chased after a mascot just to score one t-shirt, or the Bolo Jacket Masterclass. Last year in January 2022, they dropped the Corteiz Bolo jacket, which honestly wasn't that special. It was just another puffer jacket you could find at H&M or Primark. But their marketing was next level, and without spending a ton of money, they made it a banger. The Great Bolo Exchange was just a meetup in a parking lot where the deal was to trade a North Face or similar puffer for their famous Bolo jacket. I know it does sound crazy, but hundreds of people showed up, some even trading their Moncler or Nocta jackets for the Bolo.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
The operation was a success, and all the jackets collected were donated to organizations helping the less fortunate. The message was also about saying fuck you to those big corporations making money off streetwear and encouraging consumers to support small independent brands instead. But most importantly, the brand made a name for itself, turning the Bolo jacket from a basic Primark puffer with a Corteiz logo into the jacket everybody wanted. And a few days after the drop, it sold out instantly. Now let's be real, 80% of those jackets ended up on Depop, and there's zero resale value because, let's face it, the jacket is just not that great. But that is precisely why we need to talk about these products and hear from consumers who watch the brand grow. Corteiz is hyped mainly for the Alcatraz print on their shirts, caps, and cargo pants. But the rest of their stuff is nowhere near as successful, and some is even downright shameful, like that t-shirt with the design that looked like it was made on paint.
Disgusting!
Right now, the brand is still expanding, still being wrought by celebrities, and its future looks very bright. But the OGs who saw Corteiz grow may not agree. They're starting to criticize the brand for lacking innovation, too many drops, and opening up to mainstream, which they say will make it like Trapstar. They also talking about a decline in quality, like when fans of the brand went berserk over the Central C collab tee, which turned out to be a simple print on a Gildan shirt without even changing the tag. But to be fair, that's a speech we've heard from all streetwear brands. The OGs always feel a little betrayed when the brand expands and other people join the movement, but I really do think that Corteiz still has a long way to go because they know how to bounce back. The collaboration with Nike is proof that everyone thought Corteiz was losing momentum, and just a few months ago, many killjoys thought they were going to fade back into obscurity. And then overnight, they announced a new collab with Nike. Well, the pair is not that exceptional, but it does the job, and most importantly, it allows them to bring the brand back into the center of attention of the streetwear world. And whatever one may say about the quality of the products, the designs proposed by Corteiz, or even its customer service, what is certain is that beyond the product, they have managed to create an authentic movement. It's a story that is very similar to the Anti-Social Club, a brand that is ran by a solo guy who is a little overwhelmed by all of the success. But we still do hope that it won't end up like the Anti-Social Club. Man, that would be a shame. Look, we don't realize it yet, but with this brand, Clint created a new dynamic in streetwear, and it's no coincidence that Virgil Abloh had taken him under his wing and followed his work very closely. And it's no coincidence either that it's a brand that is already being heavily imitated. You even have the brand Boohoo, who's having fun imitating Corteiz sets. But beyond the clothes, it's also the concept of their physical event that has inspired a lot of small streetwear brands, and given how things are going, Corteiz seriously risks becoming the father of many new brands. Anyway, I think the brand still has a good margin for growth, a visual that is widely exploitable to make lots of variations like the box logo. And even if I personally wouldn't walk around in cargo pants with the prison printed on my balls, it's still a brand that brings and will bring a lot of things to the world of streetwear, and we wish them the best in developing their vision all the way. Now it's up to you to tell us what you think of Corteiz in the comments.
We're tryna hit me, done no gasoline, you know I'm lit, yo. If we don't talk no more, D&D, you know what it is, yo. You know what it was, they even cut them fed in front. She didn't even know that I'm just broke, can't waste my time, there's no refunds. She didn't really know that I'm just straight, but she wanna do I'm just bait. Wanna do girl chose, man just ate. She tryna tip from that man.